At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
It's like, no, not doing it. No way. You've lost your mind. It's nasty. I'm going to be touching people that are sweaty. Can't do it.
They didn't know what to do with me, okay? So they just put me in with the boys. And then I finally made it to districts, and that was the first time I wrestled girls. And I was just like, whoa, this is totally different.
Prior to this season, girls who wanted to wrestle were grafted into existing boys programs. They also participated in tournaments through the Ohio Wrestling Association for Youth, or Ohio High School Wrestling Coaches Association. And for the first time, will vie for OHSAA-recognized state championships. Girls facing girls. Our Litter Media cameras visited with the wrestling programs at Teays Valley and Waverly last December for a look into what drew some of the girls to the sport, the reaction of their parents, how they've been received by their peers and their coaches.
It was getting to the point where I was doubting myself, wrestling boys was oh, I feel so bad, I'm not, felt like I wasn't a good wrestler. And then I showed up and finally wrestled girls, and I was like, whoa, this is different. And I noticed at wrestling tournaments, girls are much nicer than the boys, okay? They were much nicer to me. And I was like, why is everyone being so nice right now?
Some of the guys, when you get paired with them, they're like, ooh, I have to go with a girl, and it's very
they want to go soft.
Did you see yourself saying, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this?
Oh, yeah.
And then they got burnt and they said, no, I'm not going to take it easy on you anymore?
Honestly, I think it depends on the person. Some people take it easy on you, some people don't.
Some go either really hard because you're a girl, or they just feel like they're going to hurt you.
Some people either feel, oh, I don't want to hurt her, or there's no in between. It's either, oh, I might hurt her, or, oh, I'm going to take her down.
Some people believe you're on the mat for a reason, so they're going to take advantage, whether you're a guy or a girl, but others are conscious.
Yeah.
Definitely been different. Different attitudes, different situations. We were looking forward to this. With Ava the last 2 years, we knew that this was coming. We love having Ava in our room, and we were slowly kind of looking for 8th graders last year to move up. I think we ended up with 2 or 3 of them that came up, and then we added some kids in the hallway. Just a dynamic of women, it's just a little bit different.
Scott, of course, when he started the program, he was so welcoming of the girls coming in. He never batted an eye when girls wanted to wrestle too. He was fine with it.
I wanted my daughter to be able to do it, and so that was a big reason too. But when I was in junior high, we had a couple girls wrestling there at Mount Logan. I thought it was great that they wrestled, and it's exciting that there's another avenue for that girls are actually sanctioned in Ohio to be able to have their own tournament and compete at the shot.
Girls wrestling has grown so much at Waverly. The quality of our wrestlers has gotten so much better, and we've always, from day one, had girls on our team.
Last year, it wasn't sanctioned, okay, so I would wrestle boys and girls, so I would go to girls tournaments, and then if coach needed me, okay, I would go and wrestle. I remember middle school, some boys would be excited, just oh yeah, I got a girl, this is gonna be easy, and then I would pin them real quick, and they'd be like, dang.
Ava stays with our varsity 106 pounder most of the day, and it's really helped him too, because she's good, and he's got to get better. So I think the kids respect them. I think they've done a nice job.
What drew your interest to becoming wrestlers?
So my fiance is the captain of the boys, mainly boys, and so I've been here watching since 3 years, and Mindie has always tried to get me to join until Katy came and she was watching, and I could tell that she was so interested in it, but she was just too shy to do it. So I said, you know what, let's make a bet. If you do it, I'll do it. And everybody got so excited about that, so that's why I did it.
So Katy, are you less shy now?
Yeah, I guess.
My mom was when I first mentioned it, she was not into it. She was not for it at all. She was worried about me getting hurt mostly. But as like time went on and like she went to my first meet, then she started to like was like, oh, I see like why you put in all this hard work and stuff, and it's so much fun. And she like really got into it because when she saw our team bonding and everything, she was like totally for it. And as for my dad, he was like, yeah, okay. But then like again, after my first meet, I feel like everyone saw how our team bonds and like why we put in so much work into it.
My dad was wrestling in high school, so he tried to get my brother to wrestle because obviously, you know, that's first choice. And he went to wrestling, and then they both invited me to wrestling, but that's what got me started.
I've just seen a few matches from like the OGs, and I thought it was really cool. I didn't want to do it at first, but I seen that it was like really competitive, and that's just how I am. I'm just competitive. So I was like, I'm gonna try it out, and I liked it.
Ever since I was little, I did soccer, flag football. I did a lot of intimate sports. So to try wrestling, my mom was all for it. She was ready. Like she was like, you can do anything you put your mind to. So let's do this, you know. And ever since day one, my mom has always been like my best supporter.
I've been hurt in soccer a lot more times than I've been hurt in wrestling. It's a fairly safe sport if you do the moves correctly. And like the biggest thing is just to try it, because you can never tell that you actually don't like something until you try it. My dad started me off. He just wanted me to like take some videos and pictures of practices. And the first day I got really bored with it, and I said, this looks fun, you should let me try. And here I am.
My sister actually lost a bet. She wasn't originally going to do this, but I don't know what bet we had, but she lost, and I told her she has to go to 2 practices with me, and she ended up like falling in love with it. She loves it.
I kind of just grew up in a wrestling family, and like I wanted to do it like growing up, but my dad just didn't want me to be with the boys because I was more of like a softer person. So he thought I would get hurt or just take it too easy. And then like when it was sanctioned, he was like, okay, like you can do it, just go ahead. And I just be as aggressive as I can and just try and support my mom. Really, she thought it was cool, she liked it, always shows up. So we're both cool about it.
You were part of the Waverly program.
I was in the 8th grade. So 7th grade, Mindie was trying to get me to do it, and I was like, no, you've lost your mind, I'm not going in there. Then 8th grade, I was finally like, fine, I'll do it. And then I loved it. I fell in love in the 8th grade. Then I moved to Western. They wouldn't let me practice, not even practice with them. So I just lost it. And I went to Xenia, and they didn't have a program for open club wrestling. So I had to wait a whole year for my mom to finally get the school board to say, you can do it. And now I'm here.
I've kind of taken them under my wing, to be honest with you, and some of the newer freshmen and JV kids, because I like to teach. Not that I don't teach the older kids, but they're pretty much set in their ways right now, and we just tweak them up. And I got a young staff that they can always work out with and get tweaked up, but I do like to fresh start. Let's teach them how they need to wrestle. So that's kind of my strength.
I think Nace was the only coach that wasn't awkward to have girls.
Yeah.
I think he's like that wrestling dad that everybody needed. Like he was just always there for us.
You're like wrestling grandpa.
Yeah. I think the first like week that I ever wrestled, Nace was the only coach that actually got down with me and showed me things, like one-on-one. The other coaches would voice it to me, but they wouldn't show me. Nace was the only one that showed me.
I feel like Nace is definitely one of those coaches that really sees the girls and like pays attention to them and is very helpful, and like we honestly could not have done our first meet without him.
Now you're still a relatively young program.
Yeah.
Some of the more established programs, some of the guy coaches didn't know what to do with the girls when they came along, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What kind of advice have you had from other coaches?
Find a woman coach.
I give a lot of advice to the male coaches, and I've given out my number to a lot of the other team's girls, because I want to grow the sport. It's not just about Waverly, Western, Pike County. It's about Ohio growing, especially Southern Ohio, growing the sport.
Yeah. And the sport is the same. It's still wrestling. It's still the toughest sport that you can definitely do in high school, much less compete in anywhere else. And so, whether you're coaching girls or boys, they still have to know the same things. But you have to coach the girls a little differently. And it's not softer like a lot of people think. It's just you have to be more intentional about things, because girls can pick up real quick if you're kind of, only not quite paying enough attention to them, or paying a little bit too much attention to them, or things like that. So I've been lucky enough that Mindie's been with us. This is our 5th year. Of course, we knew each other before wrestling together. I was always trying to pick the brains of Chris Murphy, who was the girls' soccer coach here at Waverly for years. It's constantly learning how to connect with the kids, girls or boys. That's one of the great things about being a coach of any level.
It's such a passionate sport that the girls are into it, just like the guys. And I've been doing this for 30 years, so I do wear it on my sleeve, my passion.
This is my 4th year wrestling, and this is the first year that I've actually gotten a pin. And I know a lot of girls who will quit because they get defeated, and there was a lot of times that I felt defeated, but I couldn't, they would not let me give up. Mindie wouldn't let me give up. Coach Green would not let me give up. So.
And when you got that pin, what was the payoff like?
It felt really nice.
I'm a firm believer in extracurricular activities. I mean, you've watched me play football for years, and it was great. It's a great thing as far as extracurricular activities to learn different things, and wrestling, I think, gives a very, very unique way for kids to grow and mature. You don't have to go to college to do it. You don't have to have those aspirations. You just want to be a part of something a little bit bigger than yourself, and it teaches discipline. It teaches a hard work ethic, and along the way you literally are fighting each other every day, and you grow closer together. So it teaches you how to be a family member too, because that's basically what you're doing anyway, right?
This is something that I wanted to do through high school. I love it. It's something that I can grow and find a family that outside of school and outside of my home can have someone and that will support me throughout everything.